simple things that produce the most income. We've been able to subtract and eliminate lots of different business things that people do that simply aren't generating revenue or aren't generating revenue profitably. So even if you're experienced, I promise you, you're going to get some takeaways today on this webinar that will help you have a stronger, more profitable, more fun business to run. Okay, one question. I mentioned we're going to be doing some polls throughout this webinar. One question I have for you that will help me kind of know which way to go with this is, what challenges have you faced with dropshipping? So for anyone that's tried in the past or is currently running a store, do me a favor and in the chat, answer by giving me a letter here. So we have A, B, C, D, E. If you have struggled with finding profitable products to sell, please type letter A into the chat box. If you've struggled with finding quality suppliers, type letter B. If you've struggled with building an online store, give me a C in chat. If you've struggled with getting traffic, give me a D. And if you've struggled with becoming profitable, give me an E. And you can put multiple in if you've struggled with multiple things. Again, that'll help myself and my team know how to best serve you and how to get you the most value from this webinar. What I'm going to do is turn the camera off. You type in your answers. I'll give you a minute, and then we will be right back. Okay, and I see all the responses coming in. Thank you. I do appreciate that. And again, my team will be going through them all to see where the majority of people are struggling so we know where to spend the majority of our time. Next thing I just quickly want to cover is what I call the house rules. And this is for anybody that might be new to anything from myself or my company, Dropship Lifestyle. This is kind of the legal side, plus also just reality side. It is important. I want you to know that anything I talk about on this training today, or in general, anything I teach in the Dropship Blueprint or anywhere online, is not about getting rich quick. This is definitely not a push button system. I'm teaching you a real business that I really run that does take real work to build and maintain. Again, this isn't some magic system where you're rich overnight, okay? And just so you know, everybody that I talk about, success stories and case studies that I share today, they are all successful because they're hard workers who did the work and followed my system to a T. Like I showed you, some of them we even built stores for, but they're still going out there and doing the work, and the success is theirs. And just like them, the results that you get from this are entirely up to you. Okay, with that being said, let's get into what I call the intro to high ticket dropshipping. I think the best way to introduce this business model is to really introduce myself. To do that, I just pulled these 3 photos that I think really represent me, my personality, and what it is I stand for. The one all the way on the left, I love. That is me in our studio. And what I love about that photo is I'm holding an award that we have for Shopify because they voted us best e-commerce course. They recognized my company, Dropship Lifestyle, for the results we get for members. And I appreciate that with, literally everything I have. I love that picture because, it means a ton to get that recognition from a company as large as Shopify. Next photo in the middle is me, my wife, and our son at the Lenin Wall in Prague. Love to travel and love different experiences I could have that, honestly, as a kid, I never thought would even be possible. The one on the right is me with a monkey on my head, and that is at the Monkey Forest in Bali, Indonesia, where we were actually at for a Dropship Lifestyle retreat, which is an annual event that we host for Dropship Lifestyle members. The reason I wanted to show these photos again, I'm not showing photos of supercars and mansions and what you might be used to seeing, I'm doing air quotes here, marketers show online, is because for me personally, I don't care about physical material things. I care about the experiences that we can have when we have the true freedom of time to work from anywhere we want. And that is what my businesses have allowed me. And that is what I want for you. Now, for me personally, it didn't always go this way. And my first business was definitely a bit of a mess. So I graduated from college in 2006 from SUNY Albany. If you went to SUNY Albany or familiar with it, let me know in the chat. But I graduated from there and I was like, okay, finally, I can start my own business. But I didn't know how to start a business, even though I studied business in college. Turns out you don't learn that much. Maybe you could be a manager somewhere. But I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I get started with? I didn't know about online businesses. I just knew that people could buy businesses or they could start them from scratch. So I went online and I looked for businesses for sale and I tried to see what I could buy with the amount of money I had at the time. Now, at this time, I was 21 years old. I had just under $25,000 that I had saved. This was from selling Christmas trees in December, doing landscaping jobs, working as a carpenter, just all the money I had saved up. I literally went online, looked up businesses for sale, and then did what no one should do and sort them from least expensive to most expensive. And the cheapest business I could find back at the time was a online delivery route for a bakery in Brooklyn, New York. And what I bought, what I spent my life savings on at the time, was the rights to drive into Brooklyn every day to a historic bake shop, to load up a truck that I also bought with boxes of cookies, and then drive them back to Long Island, to Nassau County, where I'm from, and sell them wholesale to grocery stores. Okay, that was the business I bought. And yeah, it was absolutely terrible. Within a few days of owning this thing, I realized I hated it. I had to sit in traffic on the BQE every day. I had to deal with store managers at grocery stores that hated their jobs and didn't want to be there and definitely didn't want to deal with me. But I was stuck because my life savings went into this. Now, this is where things for me luckily changed. I really do believe I got lucky. And I really do believe that you can be getting lucky today by hearing what I went through so you can just do it the right way from day one. But the reason I believe I got so lucky is because right around this time, like a month into it, when I was like, what am I doing? I can't just lose this thing. I can't just fail, because literally I spent all my money. I don't want to be, a 21-year-old right out of college with these big dreams who everyone thought was going to be an entrepreneur who is now a failure. But I got lucky back then because this is when I was first introduced to e-commerce. And I spent a weekend and built my first online store. I thought, what do I have access to? What products? It was cookies. Okay. So I built a website selling New York cookies, and I learned the very basics of using Google Ads. And I created Google Ads saying, hey, do you miss New York bakery cookies? Buy them here. They went to my website, people bought them, and they were shipped to the customer. Now, I was trying to find screenshots of my first online store so I could show my first sale. Unfortunately, I sold the delivery route back almost right after I started it. You'll see why shortly. But I sold that store with it, so I don't have access anymore. But I was able to find this. And this was an eBay sale that I had in January of 2008 for a box of gourmet Italian cookies, black and white minis. They're delicious, by the way. But you can see this order was for $3.99, right? Pretty miserable. But back then I thought, okay, I have this business. I'm selling these products. What else can I do? How can I get more sales? I was using eBay at the time. I was using Google Ads, and I started to really focus on growth. So again, in the beginning, I was using just Google Ads. I started using Amazon ads. I started using a website called The Find that went out of business since then. I was using Yahoo ads. I was trying to get more and more traffic. Then I thought, let me just list more and more products, right? Let me grow. And I started adding things like baked breads and cheesecakes and Linzer tarts from different bakeries. And I wanted to grow this business to reach my goals. So I focused and focused and focused on growth. But by doing that, I learned a very important lesson. Okay. And the lesson was that this business that I had built and created for myself, this online business, did not align with my goals. And I really do think this should be a huge thing for you right now to keep in mind as you decide what business you want for yourself. Because with this business back then, even then, my target monthly income was $30,000 of net profit. That's how much money I wanted to be able to keep so that I can have the experiences that I want to have, to travel, to visit the places I want to go, and to be able to do it on my own schedule. But when I started to look at the actual business I had built for myself back then, I realized my average sale price that customers paid me was about $10. My average profit margin was about 30%, which meant my profit per sale was only about $3 that I got to keep from every order I made. Then what I looked at was, how many units do I need to sell every month to make my $30,000 of income? Well, it was 10,000 orders a month that I needed. Now, that to me sounded absolutely insane, because while that could be possible, that did not align with my goals. My goals were to be able to go to Thailand and Bali and hang out on a beach and work for a couple hours a day. But instead, what I got myself was boxes stacking up of cookies, of packaging, having to have friends and family come over to help me fulfill orders from new bakeries I was working with. And I built myself a business that stressed myself and everyone else around me out. And I sat down and had an honest conversation with myself, asking, what do I really want out of my business? And the things I really wanted were more freedom. Freedom to set my own hours and freedom to work from anywhere in the world. And I wanted more money. Again, not for material things, but I wanted to be able to travel with family and friends. I wanted to be able to take in new experiences without having to double check my account balance. I wanted to make more money so I didn't have to say no to any opportunity because of money. And what this ultimately led to was me switching to what I call the new way of e-commerce. And this new way allows me to set my own hours and work from anywhere in the world. And this new way allows me to experience anything I want and not have to worry about the price tag. And that is what I want for you. So to really keep moving forward, let's get into this intro to high ticket dropshipping. And to do that, what I'm actually going to do is switch cameras. We're going to go to the other side of the office, pull up the whiteboard, and we're going to talk about how this all works. All right. Welcome to the other side of the office. So what I want to do here is just go through the 3 steps that make up dropshipping and how we make money, and then actually give you a breakdown of where the actual profit comes from out of the revenue. So again, just an intro, make sure we're all on the same page. Starting with what is dropshipping, I'm just going to break this down into 3 simple steps. So the first step is your store. Okay, this is what we build on Shopify. We'll talk more about that later. The next step are your suppliers. Now, suppliers, I use that term interchangeably with brands because, as we'll cover more in detail throughout this webinar, is we actually sell for established brands that people actually want to buy from. Now, the next step, step 3 here, is customers, the people that buy from you. So here's how this all works together. You have your store, you build that. Again, we host it on Shopify. That's number 1. From there, when people buy from your store, the orders get sent to step 2, suppliers, aka brands. From there, the suppliers, aka brands, ship the products directly to your customer, which is the third part of this equation. You never see the products, you never touch the products. You have your suppliers fulfill the orders from their warehouses, and then your customers leave you reviews, buy more when they need more. So this 3-step system, when I discovered this, and more importantly, discovered I could do this with high ticket products, completely changed what I got out of my businesses because the resources needed to make this happen are so much lower than a traditional business, even a traditional e-commerce business. So let's look at why, right? Let's plug a product in here. So right in front of me, you can't see this in the video, but I have a stand-up desk. Let's just say you came to me and you said, Anton, I want to build a stand-up desk store. You did the research that we're going to cover in the next step of this webinar. And I said, okay, cool, go for it, right? And let's just say the average stand-up desk on your site sold for $1,000, right? That's what the customers paid you when they purchased. So how do we make money out of this $1,000? How much money do we make? Well, the first thing you need to know is your biggest expense is going to be costs of goods sold. That's your wholesale cost for the product, in this case, the stand-up desk, that you pay only after the customer pays you. So that should never be more than half of what you sell it for. So let's just assume it is half in this situation. That would be a $500 expense that you have after you get the $1,000 sale. And you might be thinking, okay, what other expenses do I have? Well, the next one is going to be shipping. So we offer free shipping on all of our stores. It really just is industry standard, and it has been since I got started over a decade ago. But that doesn't mean nobody pays for shipping. It means the business pays for it. So let's just say, again, hypothetically, this stand-up desk cost $100 to ship to our customer. So here, our next expense would be $100. And at this point, we would be left with $400 of profit because we paid for the desk, we paid for shipping. But you might be thinking, well, Anton, how are people going to find this stand-up desk that I list on my store? Well, the way that I do it and the way I'm going to encourage you to do it and talk more about in the rest of this training is through paid traffic. I love paid traffic. Give Google money. If they'll give you customers profitably, I'll do that all day. You should too. And the amount we're willing to spend for traffic is up to 10% of what we sell the product for. So if we're selling a stand-up desk for $1,000, I would be willing to spend up to $100 to get that sale. And I'll take that deal all day long. But let's just plug in here, $100. That would be our ad cost. And that would leave us with a final net profit of $300 in profit off of our $1,000 sale, which is $300 or could be expressed as 30%. So a quick recap. $1,000 is what we sell it for. $500 here is COGS, cost of goods sold. Again, your wholesale price. $100 here is the shipping cost that we are paying. And the ads would be the $100 here. So that is how we make money with this business model. Again, never seeing or touching the actual products that we sell. Our job is to build an excellent store. Our job is to get high quality traffic to our store. And our job is to deliver an amazing customer experience so that suppliers, AKA brands, actually want to work with us. Okay, so again, this revolutionized everything for me. It changed the way I did business, and I think it can for you as well. So let's go back now to the other side, back to the keynote, and keep this webinar going. I'll take this thing off, and I'll see you over here. All right, and we are back. So now that you understand what dropshipping is and how we make money with this model and where we fit into the equation between the customer and the brands that make these products, I want to talk about when I transitioned to the new way and what I looked at and what you can look at in your own future business. So for me, I knew I was onto something with e-commerce because I was able to work from home and make more money than I ever could with my traditional business. But I started to think, what can I do? What variables can I control to help me reach my target monthly income of $30,000 net profit in a way that would also give me more time freedom? And the variable that I just stood out to me that I really zoned in on was the sale price. And I thought, instead of selling these products for $10 and making $3 per sale, what if I sold products for $1,000 and made $300 per sale in profit? Well, I quickly realized if I were to do this, instead of needing 10,000 sales every month, I would only need 100 sales a month, 100 customers. This would give me the same profit while greatly reducing the workload and stress that the business actually took from me and my life. So for me, this was an absolute no-brainer. And I very quickly started finding companies that made more expensive products. I started building stores that sold them, and I started making a lot more money while putting in a lot less time. And that is what I want for you as well. I want you to build a business that gets you what you want. Now, when I did this, as soon as I switched to the new way, I was able to sell expensive products and earn real money for every single order that came in. I was also able to offer my customers better support by focusing on them rather than order volume. I was also able to work with suppliers who ship these products directly to my customers. And when I made the switch to the new way, this is what happened to my business. The first year, I did just over $600,000 in sales. The second year, I did $1.2 million in sales. The third year, I did just over $1.8 million in sales. And since then, it's only been going up. Not only did I make more money than I ever thought possible and blow away all my initial goals of the $30,000 per month, but it gave me more freedom than I could have ever imagined. Not just for me, but the ability to take my family and friends with me on adventures. The top left is a photo of me and one of my friends, Johnny, in Krabi in Thailand. Next to that is my son and I at the Trevi Fountain in Rome. Next to that is myself, my wife, with my mother and my sister. I brought us all to Italy to just go experience the country together. So again, not just life-changing for me, but life-changing for family as well. Next to that is my wife and I at the Elephant Nature Park in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And don't worry, you don't ride elephants there. They actually bring elephants in. It's a sanctuary where they take care of them. You feed them and just get to spend time with them. Me doing a flip off a boat somewhere in the islands of Thailand. Myself on the bottom left at a traditional Balinese dance in Bali. To the right of that is my wedding, actually, traditional wedding we had in Vietnam. And the list just goes on and on. I've been able to travel the world with my family and do it in a way where I never have to look for what things cost. And again, this is not a brag. This is simply me trying to show you what's possible, because if you're serious about building a business, right, which I assume you are because you're here right now, I would rather you know up front that you can build a business that provides you with income and freedom. So if you want these experiences, you can have them rather than locking yourself into more work than you've ever done before. Even if you earn good money, what's the point if you can't have the freedom? And this is truly why I believe this model that I have created and pioneered at Dropship Lifestyle is the best business model in the world. Again, not just for myself, but for members all over the world. Like Becky here, she was celebrating her largest single order, one order for over $10,000. That is a profit of about $3,294 from one sale. Again, we can go on. This is Jordan. He said, best way to wake up in the morning, keep moving forward. The blueprint works. You could see here 2 orders for $3,160. That's a profit while he was asleep of about $1,035. And here Lorraine saying first sale alert, which was for 4,790 pounds. Again, a profit of about 1,437 pounds. These sales can come in when you are asleep, when you're on a plane. They can come in at any time because you're building your business online and you're building it in a way where people actually want to buy from you, and they will continue to buy from you as long as you build a business that actually provides great customer service and a business that provides real value to your customers, which again is a huge thing we focus on, which we will talk more about how to do throughout this presentation. But first, I just want to show you Brian. His first 7 days in Dropship Lifestyle generated $11,503 in sales, or a 7-day profit of about $3,450, again, in his first 7 days. Gus here said second day running ads, got a sale for $3,070. That's a profit of about $920 from one sale on his second day running ads. Here we have Renee celebrating 30 days where she did $69,560 in sales, or a profit of about $20,868. Again, these are businesses that take 15 to 30 minutes a day to manage. It's not push a button and just watch money pour in, but it's a business that once you set it up, you can manage it in 15 to 30 minutes a day while you are living the life you want to live, while you have that freedom to actually enjoy the money you make from your business. Okay, hopefully that's clear, guys. Hopefully you could tell how excited I am about this, but let's move on. Let's get back into the training now that I hope we solidified even more that this stuff does work. And let's talk about the different e-commerce business models. And when I say e-commerce business models, what I'm referring to are the different places where you can actually sell products. We have eBay, we have Amazon, and then we have Shopify. Now, Shopify really could be any e-commerce platform where you build the store instead of selling on a third party. And just know that in today's